Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Emma Lingard. On the show, we find out why fake festivals are springing up around the area.
They're exactly the same as the real thing, like I say, these guys can get up close and personal to the tribute bands. They can't get anywhere near the real Coldplay, and it's hard to get tickets as well.
My guest tonight is Mick Enright, who's here to talk about another musical event, Cleefest.
And join me later for the sports news.
But first, it's over to James Dunn for the news.
Hello, in the headlines today, fear of reprisals is stopping many people from reporting crime, and why motorists might have been wise to avoid Cleethorpes seafront on Sunday morning. Being able to report crime anonymously, no questions asked, could reduce crime across the area. That's according to Crime Stoppers Humberside, who are trying to spread the word that this service already exists and has done for 25 years. But the service, which also promotes various other ways to prevent crime, doesn't have a single volunteer on the South Bank and has struggled to raise awareness locally. They're now looking to build a profile in northern Lincolnshire and hope to recruit volunteers to help them do it.
Crime Stoppers is about providing members of the public with an alternative to giving information directly to the police. What we know is that many members of the public, for fear of retribution or indeed a reprisal, they don't want to get involved. They don't want to give information. What Crime Stoppers enables them to do is give that information in a totally anonymous manner. It does have an impact on crime numbers. We know that when we look at the national statistics, fast approaching 100,000 calls per year are coming into our call centre. We deal with each and every one of those, and in some cases we are apprehending and convicting criminals. That has to assist crime prevention nationally.
A 20-year-old Grimsby Town fan has been given a football banning order for abusing officers on the day of the match against Alfreton in April. Kane Hargreaves of Barnelby-le-Bec was banned from attending any football match in England for 5 years and can't travel during periods when England are playing abroad. Humberside Police have also issued a reminder to the 112 people in the area with football banning orders to surrender their passports to the police station by the 12th of June before the World Cup. Hull City Council has begun to set out their plans for the city for the next 15 years. In a series of consultations held at the Guildhall, the public can find out what changes are in the pipeline for Hull and air their concerns to the planning team. Included in the plans are sites for new housing, the Siemens project and the proposed improvements to Castle Street.
This new local plan, it guides development in Hull for the next 15 years. It basically does two things. It shows where development will take place over the 15 years, employment, housing, shops and things like that. But also on the other side of things, it protects land as well, like playing fields, parks and open spaces.
I think it's a good idea that the people are given the chance to have their say and see what is intended with the city in the future.
And, hopefully in 2030 everything that we see here will have come into being.
I've seen a lot of change. I can remember when I was a kid it was heavily built up. And I'm living in the same area. It's now green, open spaces, and I want that to continue.
Grimsby's Kevin Clifton will return for another series of Strictly Come Dancing this year, and this time he'll be joined by his sister. World champion ballroom dancer Joanne Clifton joins the team along with Kevin from Grimsby and his partner Karen Hauer. It will be the first time that two siblings have appeared on the show together. Kevin tweeted, "A big welcome to the Strictly family to my world champion sister." And finally, ever been stuck behind a tractor on Lincolnshire's roads? Well, try being stuck behind more than 100. Cleethorpes Pier welcomed the horde of farming vehicles on Sunday morning before they set off for the annual Grainthorpe Vintage Tractor Run. And for some of them, it was the final leg of a much longer journey. A small group of 10 completed a peer-to-peer run from Blackpool in order to raise money for Wish Upon a Star, which helps dreams come true for terminally ill children. That's well over 150 miles in total.
Every day's been exciting. We've visited 5 British tractor factories. The people was there to meet us. We had the odd breakdown, but only very, very minor. Now everything's gone like a clock.
I don't know what the running total is at the minute, but we've We'd be close to £1,000 on the route here.
I mean, the weather couldn't have been better. The tractors are absolutely fantastic. The crowds have turned out. The lads have enjoyed it. So it's been wonderful.
It's a good idea. It's all for charity. They've had a brilliant day for it, weather-wise, and I think everything's gone well for them.
It's been nice weather. Never seen so many tractors in my life in one place at one time. Love the smell of diesel in the morning. So, yes, it's good, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. Bye for now.
Fake festivals are popping up all around the country, and East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire are not escaping. In fact, many of the tribute bands are from our region. Well, Hull held one recently, and Cleethorpes hosted its first fake event at the weekend. We sent James Dunn to sample it.
British festivals like Leeds and Glastonbury are world famous, but you don't need to spend the big bucks to enjoy the festival spirit. Thus the rise of the Fake Fest, with great songs you know from the world's best bands at a fraction of the price.
Reading and Glastonbury, we got back the cost element of that, and people have got to travel, and but these are just a small community event really, and it is just to embrace a small community town, and everybody turns up to that. They're just so big, Glastonbury and things like that. You can't take families to them and be safe and know it's a safe environment. So that's what we're doing here, is just doing a pop-up festival, tribute band festival in small towns and communities around the UK.
Tickets to this event cost just £20, and that also gives you free entry to a 3-day festival, with even more acts in September. And while the bands aren't genuine, the atmosphere definitely is.
So it's really good to just be able to come out, have the same kind of atmosphere as you would in like Leeds, Reading, whatever, but not have all the faff of setting up a tent and worrying about getting home and all that kind of stuff, so it's good.
There's original acts as well, and plenty of local talent on display.
To get everyone together to do something like that is a good opportunity, especially for upcoming bands. So.
Well, they've put quite a few local bands on the bill, so of course it's going to be good for local bands, and I think every man and his dog's come today.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always nice getting the local fans around, because I mean we've got all our friends here, and I mean a lot of them did come see us at Leeds, but Reading was a totally new crowd. They've never seen us before. It went down well, but it was still a bit nerve-wracking at the start.
Yeah, I mean that's what we said. We don't usually get to play to this kind of audience. Obviously, we're say on the club scene, it's just bars and clubs, and
everyone's over 18, and
yeah,
there's a lot
like
of families here today. So
we've all been to Healing Fest, we've been to Cleefest, Holney Clay Fest, you know, and all these great festivals that people put so much time and effort into organising and stuff, and it helps us grow and mature as people and musicians. And
it gives
musical muscle.
I'm taking that. I'm taking that.
With names like Coldplay and Kasabian being bandied around, it's one not to be missed. Sure, they've changed a few of the letters around, but to listen to, you wouldn't know the difference, especially after a few of these. James Dunn, Estuary TV News.
Oh, thank you so much! Cleethorpes, you rock!
Now, hard on the heels of Fake Fest is Cleefest. The music event, which launched in 2012, has been a great success and a chance for local bands to play. And joining me in the studio is one of the organisers, Mick Enright. Mick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Cleefest is turning out to be a great success. Why was it started?
Well, it started with an idea in a pub. We just decided, you know, we were having a drink, and why is there no music around here? And
Right.
the editor at Grizzly Telegraph said she'd been to Leeds to see their festival. Oh, why has she gone to Leeds? Why go all the way there? So why don't we do it? So we kicked off. That's how it started.
An idea in pub, they're always the best.
Always the best in the pub. 2 more pints down, it's a bigger idea.
Now, this is it. It has grown and it's become successful. But this year, I suppose you're putting on this Bring on the Music contest the day before. What is that?
That's for a young lad called Brodie Croft, who is 3-year-old and is losing sight, and one of his eyes is completely gone. And I see it in a paper, so I contacted his one of his relations, and we said, right, why don't we do the Friday for, what's the name? So I thought, Bring on the Music. Okay. So we do it for him. Any money we raise goes to his charity. I'm inviting all bands, all local people, anything. You come along. We'll give you a slot in there. Okay. We've got 3 judges, so it's all
not an X Factor, but it's the kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And then they'll decide who wins it. The person who wins it, or group who wins it, will then open Cleefest on the Saturday.
Right, okay. So the Bring On the Music is on Friday
Friday
July
the
the 25th.
Yes.
At what time then is that happening?
We're starting roughly about 4:30, 5 o'clock time.
Okay.
Depends how many bands we get. I mean, obviously through your promotion on TV, it's
Yeah.
any bands that want to come, then just contact me on Facebook.
Okay, so and it is open to any kind of music?
Any kind of, you want to shuffle, you want to do a whistle, you want to flute, come along.
And have you got some very scrutinising judges?
Oh, they're hard taskmasters, these judges, trust me. They were born in the desert.
Who are the judges?
We've got 3 judges, 3 ladies, it's 2 ladies there and 1 gentleman. And I'm talking to them at the moment to identify exactly where we want to be.
Okay.
And we'll announce that closer to the date, you know what I mean?
It's all exciting. So the winner of that will then open Cleefest on the Saturday. Okay.
Same day as the air show.
Yeah.
Air show finishes, we kick off. Come on, let's rock on. Cleefest.
Now, who's lined up this year then?
Well, we've got ABBA Tribute, and they're one of the best ABBA in the country.
Yeah.
We've got Queen Bee, we've got an Oasis. Okay. Because of the time limit, normally we start at 11 on Cleefest, but they've pushed us into a 5 o'clock slot.
Right.
So it's meant we can't get local bands that we wanted to come in originally because of the slots working backwards, and it shuts at 10:30. Okay. So it's a tight schedule.
Okay. But again, you know, another really good show for the resort, isn't it?
I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, you know, people want to go to these festivals. I mean, I'll be up there dancing, you know what I mean? I'll be getting down, that loony man down and all that. Because it's part of what your generation.
Yeah.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
It is. Oh, well, thank you very much for coming in, Mick. So that's Friday the 25th of July for Bring On the Music. If there's any bands out there that want to join in, and then obviously the Cleefest on the 26th of July. Yeah, get the dates right. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Mick, for that. Right, and now it's over to Dan for the sport.
Thanks, Emma. Both of our rugby league sides faced away games at the weekend. Hull FC won away from home at the London Broncos. The 50-12 scoreline put an end to the Black and White's run of 4 straight defeats as Caleb Lancaster and Joe Westerman each went over twice. Hull Kingston Rovers were on the receiving end of a similar scoreline. They lost by 54-12 against Castleford Tigers at the Menderhurst Jungle on Sunday. To compound the Robins' misery, Kevin Laroya and Jordan Cox both left the field before half-time with injuries, and to add insult to those injuries, Mick Wayman was sent off late on. In cricket, the Lincolnshire Premier League's Sleaford beat Grimsby Town by 146 runs at Sleaford Cricket Ground. Number 3 batsman Christian Burgess hit 105 runs, including 9 fours and 4 sixes, and Oliver Burford also got a piece of the action, hitting 80 off just 68 balls to leave Sleaford 301 for 5 after their 50 overs. In response, Grimsby were all out for 155 despite a resilient effort from opener Stephen Butterfield, who hit 74. For a full list of the weekend's results, head over to the Estuary TV Facebook page. In the opening race of this year's Isle of Man TT D&E's Superbike race, it was an impressive second place finish for Kirmington's Guy Martin, who was only 20 seconds behind winner Michael Dunlop. Fellow local rider Peter Hickman of Louth can also be pleased with his finish on his race debut. He finished 14th. In first qualifying practice on Monday, Peter made history by becoming the fastest ever newcomer with a speed of 151.10 3 miles per hour. Finally, Josh Jones of Wallaby, having won the Under-20 British Triathlon Championship, is now hoping to qualify for the European event at Sheffield's Rother Park this month. He's aiming to book his place at the championships, with it taking place in Geneva next year. That's all for the sport. Back to you, Emma.
Well, that's all from us. If you have any stories, email news@estuary.tv or contact us via Twitter or Facebook, or pick up the phone and call Grimsby 01472 315 561. Until next time, goodbye.